So, good morning to all of you. We're now going. How do you say good morning in Tibetan?
그게 날아간대요.
Okay, one person. Shopadehi. Shopadelik. 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 Okay, all right. Shopadelik. All right. So now we're going to switch to the science of happiness. What I'd like to do is start by having you talk in small table groups about what we did in class yesterday. Is there something you're still wondering about? Do you have questions? Were there things that you learned that maybe you didn't know before? Or is there something you disagreed with? So, take a few minutes to do that.
당보고수도 계란수 된다. 조제가 루카루가 쇠요. 비로가 춘주춘주 계란수 나로 잘리나이스. 니칼라는 계사 가리장 이메체 아니 tanda kesa labjo di korla khari samlo tang shimba yo che ani tiwa da thokpa din yo ina di kor samlo tang ro chis an sawa khari sheso yana keranzo muthu me ba indi chung yo na ra kesa dinjo changme thola samlo tang ni keranzo nang lo ruka ruka thudu nang ro chis kama sum ne kama nga bara yo sa dila
Okay, all right. So I would love to hear from maybe 2 or 3 people what is something that you talked about in your group.
The mini sum keranzo nanglo ni ra ani shang ni shiro shidas keranzo ruga na thudur khari chung image ra di korla.
Just one person.
So you have talked about 3 types of happiness. The one was loyingwa, mind wandering.
Hedonic treadmill, flow, and
flow,
meaningful life.
Flow. The second one, that was quite surprising to us.
Okay.
And ani shimbahare east the west kaji. So you have talked about happiness in the east and the west.
Yes.
Karinangla. So you also talked about how to measure happiness. That's kind of a new thing to us.
Okay. We're going to talk about more about that today. So yes, I'm curious with the question about flow. How many people here feel that they have experienced a state of flow where you lose all sense of space and time?
That tuda khalore dira space the time lana tuda ani tanda tuju da changma ngarasu cho male ado che nawa yang walan tuda khase lo yang wadi tindigi tanda nebab di kiransu chonyung us kiransu nanglu di tiwa yisa.
Maybe, yes. Yeah, yes.
Okay. Nenyung US di nebab di susu rangi le chonyung US las. So when you talked about the flow, like we have experienced that, but we didn't consider as happiness.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Very interesting. Yes, and the scientists who study flow have found that the feeling of happiness comes after the experience of flow.
네, 체리바에 단다 디 나와영 walash도 디 디기나 샤기요 마레스 디 네밥지도 디 예사요젤라 아니 단다 디기 초여주라 디 용구요레스 라기요레스. 나와영 서절 디랑 마레스. So what their opinion is like after a flow, the person will experience like they won't feel happy. Rather, it may give a like counter effect. So the person may feel bad or he will feel sad or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
But not happy.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. That's very interesting. Okay. Thank you.
Lo yang wala di jela ni kiu dumbu khegu jiyo mare tangyong res. So what she feels is after flow, the person will neither feel happy or sad. It will be kind of neutral state.
Okay. Okay. So that's their experience with that.
So
okay.
what their opinions
Okay, yes.
about the flow.
And I think that both of those examples give are a good illustration of how limited the science is and how much more we need to learn about these things. So our study of happiness is very small right now.
Dila dida kiran su ni pesun ro mangbuji shesuas dila de ngaran su gi thanda shimju chigyu de dangye mewa ro shi dangye mewa nang shi chadyo ras thandu ni su mangbuji digal lembe gya go cha res ngara shimju dina.
When I teach about happiness, I always tell students, don't accept everything that science is telling you because there are so many different variations. You try it on yourself and does it make sense to you?
Dila de ni ngaran gi luptu den zo la khari shigyu lawaina cheri gi khal isho de kiran zu ije che re la na yo mares kana na dinang khari la na kheba dosi ros mi khashela thanda jawa chagi yo ina kiran su le di ma so de yong si ros dila kheba yo res lan shigyu yos.
Okay. So, okay, great. All right, so let's go ahead and start. So we're going to talk this morning more about how we measure happiness.
Ani ta thanda shuge la ngazu khari korshi la ina ngazu digi di chejel khandes chigres la jura di keje shigi is.
So one way that people measure happiness is they look at the facial expression of people.
Ta thanda digi gi cheje khande chigir la jura chi tablam chi khane ni chagir la ina migi dongbe namjur jura dongi namjur guni shigi res chejel chedi.
Scientists have studied the expression of emotions on the face all over the world to understand if there are universal expressions of emotions like fear, anger, sadness, happiness.
Ta thanda cheriba dinjugi thanda semso dam in mangbu jura ngangda roda shina roda ni dewa da dungye da dinju khari imbadi changma ani yongkyap thanda segola jamlingi saja kho kasela ni khoran ju shimju chi res di dongi namjur jura changma le yongkyap re durem dulan shimju chi res.
And what they found is that some emotions are universally expressed.
Khoran ju ita ma shimju nyamship chi ra di chedu khari nyer laina semsur khashe ji khari yor laina changma le thumong chigba chadiwash yongkyap imba den ni res.
So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to be silly.
Ta pezin ji shagola skin sauj da yoresti.
Okay, so I'm going to show a facial expression and you tell me what emotion you think that I'm expressing.
Ta thanda pezin shagila ra dikhai nan gela khorang gi dongi namjur ende tyungi is an kheran ju she endelas nga semsur khande jiyo di.
Laugh. You ready?
Kharin
Ah, very good. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. How about this one? Sadness. Yes. Okay. Very good. All right. How about this one?
Sabojo de na si dosa. Kharin no you're nauseating.
Yeah, nausea, disgust. Yes, it's called disgust. Yes. Okay. So, what emotion? Obviously, happiness. Yes. Okay. All right. So, with happiness, the scientists literally have looked at the muscles in the face to see what muscles are moving during certain emotions.
Ta thanda kiwu yedu gala dongi namjur la tagyur la ra dongi namjur la di kharil khunzu shisha gur la na dongi nanglo la shane ra dongi shane dinzu la ni shimju chi res shane khandi ku jotangyu me jora dil pawe.
So this is an authentic smile of happiness. It's called a Duchenne smile.
Ta di thanda gi musho de jonam ju shten da dil Duchenne ki sumdang la ora den res la res di ani thanda mi di kyu yo aina namju den res tungure la ni den res cha de res pezinde.
So the way that you know it's happiness is you have the lips are pulled up at the corners like that.
Kiran zu kyu yo kapsu khande res semsu den yo kapsu khadi gi musho ni thanda thani di ma ku de jo ro chagyo ras.
But the key are the eyes. The eyes crinkle like that. They get wrinkly.
The keje sho di kholta huir la na mig dil ta huires ke musho do khaji gre mig thala nyerma mambush thei do as dil huires.
So I don't know how it is here if you watch movies, but in the United States with movie actors, sometimes they don't want to crinkle their eyes because it causes wrinkles, so they'll do fake smiles like this. That's not real happiness.
Ari do na longi thangi ndi do Quran su khaji la na ta kimusho do gala khaji ore de nyama thiyura gimu one di masho che thagas khaji guji ndi kyang se jora mig di nyama ma che chido mig di tingu ma res nam judu.
So anyway,
la so in small children like infants they don't have wrinkles in their even if they are happy we don't find wrinkles in their eyes. So
Right, yes. What it is, the eyes crinkle. It's the eyes.
yine ta yema
Yeah.
mena inde khok de just thungu da mi inde kumjo do di thungu yo ras.
Right, yes. Okay, good. All right. So that's one way that scientists measure happiness. Oh,
La. So, but we have to find whether the infant is actually feeling happy or not. We just can't rely on their facial expression.
okay. What else? What other clues would you have that an infant would be happy?
Ta kherangi namju diltani so kharili ge me latung marwa lara an so kyu yu me khandesta thures ti member ina na samju khari yes la orta like gemungune ta thanda gawe gap su shoye jora dinde res la orta pese sende do chasha ina. So like they are saying like the people can fake smile even if they are sad from inside.
Yes.
So
yes, they can.
so
Yeah.
they are saying we cannot rely on facial expression.
I see. Okay, that's a good point. There are other ways that we express ourselves that we'll talk about this afternoon through voice, through touch, through body language.
Ta thanda dongi namjur chipu maimba migi thanda keje shidu ke jora ke di che thana shi regbe kapsu rekcha ja di changma ani subu ge namju khandi tungyu me jora di changma chugyu res di korjela shigi is.
Okay. All right. Okay. So another way that we measure happiness is we take people into the laboratory and we do experiments with them to find out what brings us happiness.
Ta thanda nganzu digi di khandis chungyu me chi yora ngara ju nanglola di korla ani tachi chidu wal khari gu re midin zu gu ras and this midin zu tachi khana ma thile an nganzu nyamship chi res.
So we're going to do an experiment. We're going to pretend that we're in a laboratory. I brought you all in as the subjects.
Ta tachi chi la du tachi chi sa mi gora khiranju insamas an thanda nganzu khole re tachi khana yores.
So we're going to do an experiment first, and then I'll explain what we did afterwards.
Ta thangbo khar chi lana tachi di chi sa yojela ani deshi gya gos tachi khari ko rimedi.
Okay? All right, so you've just come into the lab. So the first thing I'd like you to do is just in your notebook, answer this question. How happy do you feel right now? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not happy, 10 being super happy, just write down a number. How happy do you feel?
Ta thanda tachi dinal thangbo dikhar rimba thangbo dikhari nan khiran stidem nal thirochis khesa time ba chishite do chikni chuba do khiran kilu khaga sule jora thanda kiu chogu dues ladi thanda lawor thande chale kiu dues kiu shu yo na angi chute an shu ta nyo doji chagyo na an gu ge chaira kiu meo na chik an ki roli yo na nga thu chaira no thanda thande cha khari chogu mede.
Okay, so just a number.
Thande char kiu dues khiran
Yeah, just a number. Just a number. Yes.
Angi chubush tie endalas igi sangma thugu yo mardelo angi di chubush.
Okay. All right. All right. Everyone's got a number?
Sama
Yes.
angi thisa imba khari chugu angi di kiu shu na chura kiu meo na chi an dini parla khari ligyo na.
Okay. Now I'm going to walk around, and I'd like you to pick out one piece of paper from this, and don't show anybody what you picked out of the bin. Keep it to yourself.
Ta thanda khar chu la na chego dinala thanda shobu chik chik da de chinjish mangbush da di mi re ge chik chik lem gu go res ra ani chik chik len sa jela so so rogba din zul te yo mari so so nya de res di
Okay, so don't show anybody. Okay? All right.
shimbal te mar dalo di shobu di. The shabru tabla ni yo shula shabru tabla ni yo shule.
Okay? All right, so everyone has one? Okay? All right.
정말 찍찍 라서
Okay. So what you're going to do
또 머다 가자.
for the next 3 or 4 minutes, I'd like you to do the instructions on your slip of paper in your journal, and I'll tell you when to stop.
다 단다 가르치고 구매 로시 튀어서 라디나라 쇼보디날 디코르 안 케란조 시디 겹사 까마숨 수요스디날
Without talking to anybody.
신바님도 계제 시야에 마다 수수랑 거지 가리라 메딜 파베 튀고다.
Right? Once again, now write down in your notebook on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy do you feel right now?
다 same right.
Same. Yep.
다
Same.
인다 라스타 키란즈라 단다야 안기 찍니 주바도라 키란즈 단다 기블루 카가 소우도 레저라 디티야 인다 사야 랑자 단다 기블루 카가 소우도 기부 슈요나 주라 기부 메오나 찍라 셴바디 키마디 안기 찍부테르
Okay, so as a scientist, what I would want to know from all of you is, did your number for happiness increase? Did it change in any way?
다 당보 고주도 안기직 팀바 단다 안기시 팀바 안게 나라 체리바 임베 차네지 나라 카리셴도 둘라오나 단다 안기니 라키란주 단다 길루 가가 스메디 소와디라 딜루 교드로스웨스 파레다 차야로즈드웨스 카르치시
Okay. So can I ask, I just want to ask a question. How many of you had number 1? Raise your hand if you had a number 1 on your slip of paper.
키란주 쇼부 단다 디도아 쇼부 탐서 디날 안기 찍찍 유조도 찍니 수미리 틴샤도 찍이조 한디르 차량다사 찍랑행 하주
Okay, so these are all the number 1s? Okay, keep your hand up.
Okay.
For those of you who had number 1, keep your hand up if your number of happiness increased?
다 키란조 쇼부 탄티스과 안기 당보라교 들어 니 키란조 라티와 인라스 키란조 랑라다 키란조 이탄다 기블로 카가스 툴란 소와시 팀바 안기들 교도세 파르스웨사 디티와드리시 파르나 심바데 좀 말다 탄다 디 당보라교 찍부시
A little bit. Okay, all right. Okay, how many of you had number 2?
안기 니랑이 가주스
Okay, and for those of you who had number 2, how many of you saw that your number of happiness increased?
다 티와랑자야 안기 니라교 날 티와르들로 코란스 찍부지라 키란조 나로네 탄다 안기 니 팀바 디 기우 소우둠도 라이저라 기우 가고 소우도 라이 디 안기 디 파르스웨라스 파르임바이나 차량다스 상마마다 안기 니바라교 디 찍부지
A little bit? Okay, maybe a little bit. Okay, all right. So, so this is an example of an experiment that a researcher would do in the lab. So let me, go ahead.
다 단다디 키란조 제고지 치임바 디 치단디 콜 치유르라오나 가란소 냠십 칭이 세리바딘 조이 따지 칸나 딘라란 치유레스
So let me I'm gonna show this on the, kind of describe this using this. Okay, so those of you who were group number 1,
단다 쇼부 간라 안기 당보 티유주라 로가 당보디 차샤와이나스
you were what we call in science the control group.
다 단다 체리날 따지 치라 따지 치두가 키란조 루가스다 딘조라 칼리 라오나 더 컨트롤 라나 당지 디루카 당지 루카 차데레스
Group number 2, you were what we call the treatment group.
다 니와디 카르라나 쭈치사 라오라 디 차데레스 니바디 루카 니바디
Okay, so group number 1, can someone raise their hand and tell the rest of the group what was it you were asked to write about?
다 루가 당보시도 단다 키란조 쇼부 안기 당보 티유주야 디게나 안 키란조 티와 카리 카르타 셰셰다스 찍찍인다 찍찍 찍버르데 정말 So what did you eat last night?
Yes, what did you eat last night? Just talk about what you ate last night. That's it. So in group number 2, the treatment group, what were you asked to write about?
다 루가 니바 주라 쇼부 당보도 니월란 루가 니수다 니와딘 조 임바이나 티와 카르타 샤스 So which person gave you the most happiness in your life?
Right, yes, so right, exactly. Which one of these 2 would you expect to actually increase a person's happiness?
다 단다 델라 니셰도 내다 니여라 딜라 두발라 니 키란조 삼출라 간디나라 루가 니여라 간디나라 단다 카레키베 소와주라 디파르요 로도스 In the second group?
The second group, right, exactly. So that's why, so in science, a control group is a group that, how to explain this, does not receive an intervention that would be, that you would expect to see a change.
다 단다 당진기 루카 라이스도 디 따지시도 간디주어 라와나 ngaransugi 교와 만두에 레와 체주라 디나로 안가주 주 카리치구나 딘데 시라스 마치니 샤셰기 레스 디게리들라
Whereas the treatment group, we would expect to see a change.
안타나가주 주 지살라네 루가 니버시도 Dina imbaina di rukhana ngara zui khari rewa chigir lawana yuash duguyo di rewa chigires.
So if you were in group number 2, treatment group, was there a change in your level of happiness?
Diladu rukhan nibash do tang zu gyo dugure samgu ruas diladu kenas nalu gyo droyo ruas angi dila. Yes, it has changed.
And group number 1, did you have a change in your happiness?
Thangbo dila thanda digi choa jora dila gyo dros us kiu yumede. No, it didn't change.
No, not really. Okay, all right, all right, great. So what I'd like you to do right now is just in your table group, talk about this experiment that we just did. What might be some limitations or some challenges that scientists might find doing this kind of research?
Ta nyamship chiyoga do tseribai chidang tharang chigyor laura. Nyamship dende imbe kapso ani kiran zui samju khari yois ta dinala madang we cha roda an tonglen chigo ya tseriba dinzol di ligri la jora an kiran zui samju khari me di kor ani thodur nangro ches. Khari digi la de che je yore samgu mdus. Mi rerela. So I feel that we cannot measure happiness. It depends on the individual.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it differs from individual to individual. So
Right,
we
yes.
cannot measure it.
Okay, all right, very good point. It's very difficult. Yes.
So when you talk about happiness and you did this experiment with us, so that's also a kind of happiness, but it's just a temporary happiness. It's not permanent. So when we talk about happiness, we have to aim for happiness which is permanent, which is constant.
Right, yes. And that is one of the challenges that scientists face.
Chik donglen chigwe dik chagyo ras theriba dinsola.
Yes, right. Anyone else?
Ne
On this
shimba
side of the room?
kya shime. Kirani al chigre. Okay. Sheda kemar she. Sheda. Sheda ngilo. Disco senda. Kare rokboda dindela rali do. So the happiness also depends on the circle, like your friends or relatives or the family.
Okay, so it's not just your own, not just your own
So
happiness.
rang chagiyo maras digi ladi shenda tungu ras.
Okay, okay, all right, this is good. Okay, next, I very much agree that it is extremely difficult to measure happiness.
Kela khora mutu yes kharil lana kiran sugi digi ladi cheje tu mar la ra je khabu chagiyo resti.
Because my experience of happiness may be very different from Karma's experience of happiness versus your experience of happiness versus your experience of happiness.
Chezan kela khorangi ta digi nyongwa jora dida ani ngi digi nyongwa che kiran sui digi nyong mirere do ina changma loga chasi ras.
So yes, but we can still learn from science about the nature of happiness, but always accepting that there are so many different conditions for what brings on happiness and what it actually is.
Hine ngajo khari korse tur lawaina thanda digi lai di rangshi khandi yumi jora di che ani khari chiwaina digi di twin tur lai ji dinde korla ngajo di chi tur ras she tur ras.
So I want to talk about one more way that scientists measure happiness, and that's through using surveys.
Ta thanda digi korchik she khari gyuni shigir launa ngajo thanda tiwa thilen chido survey chini dinde gyuni ani haku ras chi.
So similar to what you filled out yesterday.
The survey la di kesa kheran zo khari nai di ro dress.
So these are, I don't know if you can see these. Let's see, we'll pull them up. Thanks. So these are questions on 2 different surveys.
Ta thanda tiwa tangi yor la so tiwa thilen che di ani tiwa thanda survey loga cha di res di minda ni res.
So I don't know what's going to be easiest. What I'd like them to do is come up maybe in table groups with pens and just mark a check next to 3 items that represent happiness to them.
Ta kheran zo changma nyam do yong na ta ge rang mara cheza ruga chini phe inda lasre me chini keranzo ruganan ta khazu gyagurlana thanda mangbushten da del ne de denini sum ta gyagures keranzo digilana khandijil ngujin chigui mejura dem ne de mangbushti do denini sum la ta gyagures.
Okay. So is it helpful to have you read them out loud first?
Di loga changma rere chin loga las loga ngata nye gorla yobanam kibu dosra nye keneje nam kibu sui yosa ani jidang chanyum inaya ngara tembyo ngang soshin yos nye chendu yoche shenla sewa mebe to chedu nye miche nedang hajang yaklas ngarangi miche deba kengi dos tabar ngala goba keche rig nam top sons kede ngaram miche larya kegyu chungna debe miche chashi pemoche gyurdo mesa.
So what I'd like you to do is just think for a moment about which 3 items to you represent a definition of happiness.
다 제자 루가 피그라 니네 세우 고추서 가르치에 봐 세우 차세 델 망부슬로서 된다 니도 가지도 지긴 숨시 nga tuk duin ge do ge ni dene ni kiran zu gita sum digil munji chigyo la jura dene ni sum dam gu gu res
So
dam du gal kiran zu di chigur da kesi di dam bai na digda ge yo digda shingyo yo digda gerda.
So should we just go by table group, like ask that table group
Oh
over
da
here?
ruga indalas tangsho phane ni gochu ai na kiran su feda.
So yeah, just bring a pen.
kiran su nyam do
Yeah.
ruga trodur chin de feda ha. De lora ni de sum dam de ni. Sumla.
And it's okay, they don't have to all answer the same. They can
Like kiran su samju loga ine digres. So they need to pick 3 or
pick
more.
three
right?
from any of
Any
these
of these,
lists.
sum
Yes.
dam las,
And they can each do they don't have to agree.
Modun gwe and yomarlas. Sum damlas. Ta gyab digda gyab khandir kiran su modun yuna. Mize nedan yabu yo lawa na nga digi sigi yo la gorda. Sa diwa chama lo mende. Lo ni dile yaga yo dam gora.
You all get to do this.
Ngala goba keje rig nam top songlas.
Okay, so everyone's put their checks up as much as they want to?
Kiran su gyasa imbalas sama.
All right, so this one we had 3. I wonder if we can just mark. I don't know Tibetan number, so let's 3 there.
Dela sum doalas digda.
And 1 there.
Dela chik redos.
1,
Dela chik.
3.
Dela sum.
It looks like this was 2.
Yeah. Dela ni redos.
And then this one was 3.
Di sum redos.
And 1.
Di chik redos.
Okay, and then 1.
Dela chik redos.
Okay. I'm curious. So it looks like we had, if we total 3, 4, 5, 8. So we had 8 there. And then this one we had 2, 5, 6, 7 here. I'm curious, if you were to guess which one was, thanks. Which survey is from the west and which survey is from the east? Could you
Kiran
guess?
su seba chini ladu sa res. Kailana dela tiwani do. Tiwani di lengya ta lengya jora mi din zu lengya dinde res digilana dinde jil ngunzi chigyo la ra. Dinni ni ani khandi nupcho be shejo imbadodus khandi sharcho mi din shejo imbadodus. Nupcho di this one from the west.
Yes. Yes, and this one from the east. Yes, very much so. Yes.
Res.
So-
Nupcho be shejo res di sharcho mi din zu res.
I'm also curious, what questions came up for you as you were reading through these? What questions about measuring happiness or about happiness itself came up for you as you were reading through these different items?
Ta thanda dina ni de mangbuj kiran zu khali logi dora di lo ego so ni thanda digi gi cheje da dewe ni kiran zu tiwa do la ore samsu ro khari le sons di lo ekap so samlo na khari gari share songs.
Did you disagree with anything or did you agree?
Andina le tijo changmala thanda kiran mutun US e mutun mewa yang US chungse mutun yo mewa. So I think it's not right. In some of the cases it's just mentioned like, okay, if I feel happy, that is called happy. They consider this as happiness. That's not right.
Ah, okay. Okay. So yes, so in the West though, it is all about me. But what's interesting though is that happiness researchers are discovering that this is limited. Your happiness cannot be all about you. You have to include other people in your happiness, and that's a new idea in the West.
Dila duta nupchonal di samchu sawa dile yores nyema embana khoranzu khare nga kiu na tisar nga kyanga ras nga tangelan di ani thanda takda digi meoj ani thanda nyamshib da di mangbu chigiyora takje di gyuni hako yores di samchu nisu sawa chad yores.
So we have a lot to learn from all of you. Yes.
Dila du galata nyamshi chidi nyera nga la di chiku ji takda digi meo dila du ani nganzu kiranzu ngweni ani changye mangbu chha yores.
So researchers will often give, if they're working with people from the West, they'll give them questions like this. If they're working from people from the East, they'll give them questions like this.
Tanda nyamshib chinge yora Quranzu ikharchi lawana tanda nupchola tawzi chwe kopse thuwa dindi dosh tangruas and sharchola thuwa tangdu dindi tangures.
But some of the challenges of using survey is that I may answer this week these questions today, but if you ask me again in a week, I may have different answers.
Ta tanda ngi di thuwa dila di dunda dila thuwa ta ona ngi lenj ke gruas. Ta dunda jema jora dila yan thuwa tharan ta ona ya len di minda cha si gruas, jo du si gruas.
So it's hard to know how happy am I over my entire lifespan.
Dila du ta ngara do cha sho na ngara mize ring la yora di thuen dinala ni kilo khaga sume la jora di enche je khabu cha gruas.
Another limitation of using survey to measure happiness is, I don't know if you have this problem here in this culture, but in the West, we will answer questions not truthfully because we want to appear happy, because not being happy is considered not a good thing, so we may not be totally honest in our answers.
Ta nupcho na cha shaw na las ta kiran su nang khandu na haw ma songs mara su nupcho na cha shaw ni thuwa tangra mi din zola Quran su len ge du len temba ke yo ma su so khari chogu me di thing mares khari len ge du khandi je la na su so kyu yum ba tuen jora di la cha shan ani len ge res khana nupcho na kyu me ola du duga do chi res.
So, and another challenge is that I may think I am happy, but if this is my family, they may have a different opinion of how happy I actually am.
Dila du ngarang kita samsu kibulana dinde jius lan shi ras nge nangmi kita ngal tadang chiwa na ngi nga khadu kyu yor la du Quran su tadang loga so loga yor was.
Okay, so in general, this is how researchers have found that happiness is defined in the East versus the West. So this is obviously, this is East and this is West.
Tatanda digilana khande jilsi gi la jora dila dugala di nupcho gi tadang chade ras tijo di sharsho gi tadang dres.
So I'm curious, looking at this list of what they say the East feels happy, is there anything missing? Is there anything that you think should be added to this list of how people in the East might consider happiness?
Ta dijo dikhare sharsho la du nganje sugi ra dila du sharsho nal thanda ne du khashi stin do dinde yo ina digil chijo chigiyeslan dinala mebe ani kheran su ya samsu sawa ndi yo ina dinone be ga du es dina mebe.
Yes.
Nangmi da ho yin sen din zori da. So it's not limited to relational harmony.
Ah, okay.
So it's beyond that.
It's more than that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So what else? What would she add?
Ta kherangi dil geni rela ra dil gen rela do ennembe khari ga resa digal. So we should include others as well in this.
Okay, so it's beyond just your family.
Yeah.
It's people outside the family.
Dila du nangmi geni ani nangmi member mi chimi din zu chu ros. Promo chu res la. So even insects like ants, these are included in this.
Ah, okay, okay. So is that a little bit like this one, unifying oneself with the group and nature, so having this harmony with nature?
Tanda kya shaya dita shiwa dinal chu de rau chag de sa. So the rangjum koryu the lindu de wala da. Shiwa dinal chu de kya ju tanda shaya di burhoma de zula. Yes. It's in the fourth one.
Ah, okay.
The one which they mentioned now.
Okay. Anything else that you would add to that list?
Ta khari shigur launa dina mebe ani thewa numbe gya dues thodina. Dita samju mission by tun sa ra thande kharan ju numbe gya dues tigan. Iche trust and patience.
Ah, okay, okay. Trust and patience as well. Okay, good. I'm also curious. Oh dear.
Huh?
Magic of it. Here, this obviously is the West. What are the thoughts of things around individual achievement in the West? When you work really hard at accomplishing something, oftentimes it gives you a sense of satisfaction, a sense of happiness. What are the thoughts of individual achievement in the East?
Ta nupcho ro cha shoina ra mire ngore koran khechumbu chigi ra koran kali shu gyage res chik thobela di thoba na koran zu deba khaya ro che ani deba khandu gala kibu sore jura di yungu res di thola ni sharcho gita dang khande res.
Is it important to your happiness?
Di ani thanda kiu chogu la jura da thama chik susu mi yu chiju dir thoba ina ani sharcho na la di chigi res di gi ro chigi res di. Okay. It's just a temporary happiness.
Ah, temporary happiness again. Yeah. Okay, all right, okay. And then what about positive emotions? How important is it to feel things like joy in the East? To have those positive emotions.
Yes, it's included in happiness.
It is included in happiness. Okay.
Joy.
Okay. All right. Okay. Wonderful. So these are just some of the challenges that researchers face when they're measuring happiness. Again, it's different from culture to culture in terms of how you experience happiness and also what brings about happiness as well.
Tila duta digilana khande jilmunji chigyu me khande chiwana kiran kibu choudu la jura di ani changmal chigba chagyu madas rikshun la kheba yorwas mirire la kheba dugu yorwas.
Okay. So next, the last way that we're going to talk about measuring happiness. Okay. So this, anyone know who that is?
This is Washington's Yunchode. Japanese Prime Minister.
Yes. Yep. Japanese Prime Minister, yes. Shinzo Abe or something. I don't know his name. And then you guys know who that is? Yes.
This is
Obama, yes. Which we wish was our president still. Anyway, so there is a researcher in the United States who has looked at the photographs of leaders of countries, of universities, of corporations.
Jamship chinge yora koran so chi kharitar laona king khunge do da nit ba din yora niti chinge koran su gi ta par din zula ni koran su korla ni jamship chi res.
So she wanted to know is could we learn about how a culture expresses happiness by looking at how the leaders express happiness.
Dila duta rishun la thanda digila dungunji chidan loga yora rikshun pa be ni koran su gi digi la du namju khande tungyu me jura di nyamship chela ni koran su neri chegen yora khonzo gyuni ni koran su nyamship che res.
So once again, I'd like you to imagine that you are a scientist and you have been given these two photographs to look at.
Ta thanda rikshun ta du galo pombo de juk tungyu lara di la du kiran zu ta nyamship chegi imba cha shas thiriba din zo an kiran zu thiriba imba cha ne ani kiran zu la par dige ni di tun res.
What might you assume, what assumptions might you make about the expression, the emotional expression of happiness based on these two leaders? And I'd like you again to talk in your table groups about what do you learn maybe about the Japanese culture? What do you learn about the American culture in terms of how happiness is expressed? So talk in table groups.
다 근데 기부요 다 가솔기 넘버 2 줘라 디 아니 리슝 라 켜봐요라라 디 따지 쳬라 코란줄 뽐보된 줄 따지 치르라서 딜라도 코란줄 차샤나 파르디니 테오이나스라 아니 단다 코란줄기다 리슝 나타 니다 코란 뽐보딜 타니 시그라 코란줄 기부라나 딘데 주여레슬 남규된다 딘데 주여레스 디 셔오이나 파르디니 코란줄 테레레스 루가나 조두나로 치스 세리 파르들로 코란줄
Take a couple minutes, yes.
참마 차세 루가 참마 차사 okay
Okay, so what would you say about the Japanese versus American?
다 일본다 다 일본다 아리 차셔나 리슈널 다 디길라나 한디 주면 디 코르시기라
제가 제일 많이 따와 있더라. 네, 오바마 칼로 뱅키 하려
So as a scientist I found that Obama is much happier when we compare it with the Japanese Prime Minister.
Ah, okay.
So
Okay, all right. Okay. And why would you say that? What evidence do you have?
the Quran kyu shu yo je Quran ding zamre Quran yi do eno Quran shu kyu yor lara anke pangda khri yo stila the way Obama has smiled and his eyes
Very good. Yes. Okay, good. All right, what else? What did you say?
and also that he's showing all his teeth.
All right. Okay, what else from any other group? What else would you say about the difference?
오바마가 제일 돈을 쉬어 이나서라. 제일 돈을 쉬어 이는 오바마가 게 동바 성분을 데벨라게 좀 그런 게 가서 사수 보여버려 이게 기부 용어도 이제 보면 이거 교사. 아니 파주대 아니 셰다 기부 매버려 통 지단계에 개발 요만해서 제일 돈을 쉬어 이는 어디.
So if you ask me as a scientist, I'll say that Obama looks much happier and calm, but the Japanese Prime Minister, he doesn't look so happy.
Okay.
And in general, if you don't ask me as a scientist, I feel that both has the same measurement of happiness.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Okay, so different versus a scientist versus a non-scientist. Okay, thank you. Very interesting.
Takiran cheri bacha ni sheo ina re cheri ba membe chani sheo ina shero di ani kana samju sheo tu she nangsa.
Okay, so I'm wondering, that seems to speak that you can't always tell how happy a person is just by looking at them.
Tilo du kerangi she di samsu di roles. Mila ta otsam gita midi khagas kilo midi latung mare lagyo roas. Yes.
Right, yes, exactly. Good. Anyone else?
Ani shemba. Kandi Obama. So she feels that that's not a genuine smile.
Really? Why?
I'm curious.
No, I'm curious.
Because he doesn't want to feel the other person feel sad by his expression, so he's faking that smile, not to feel the other person bad.
Oh, interesting. Okay, all right. Okay, very interesting. All right, is there anyone else? One more
Ani
person?
Shemba?
Anyone else? Very interesting. No?
Sujo de. Oh, so he looks neutral, so it looks like he's a peaceful person.
Ah, okay. All right, good. See, this is really fascinating to hear everything that you've shared because the scientists had a different view. And so it just goes to show with certain kinds of sciences, you bring your own interpretation to the evidence, to what you're actually looking at. Does that make sense?
Diladu cheribai dinde taje cheshim barwas ani keranso thanda kharishir launa susugi khari samgu me da di changma ma tishish kya sharwas dila sui samjudi.
So what the scientists decided, what they found, and I'm not saying that what they found was correct because everything you said was valid also. What they found was that Obama expresses very positive emotions, very upbeat. Go ahead.
다 단다 체리바든 저 디니레라니 시기요로스 딜라두갈라 디니르라두갈 상마 덴바레란디 시기요 마레스 케란조 시조디에다 케침부 차기요레스 삼수든조 아니 단다 코란조 체리바이 단다 따체시도 가리니르라와나 오바마기 단다 다 남주된다 조라 코란기 시주로디 칸디체르라와나 셈소르 상보뚱이 데르로질 지기요레스.
And when you look at the American culture, this kind of happy expression, very upbeat, very lot of smiling and that sort of thing, that is, for us, that is what we consider happiness, an appropriate expression of happiness to be.
nila ari rocha shawnata namju zumri roshniuda tinde tyoina ani semsor sangbo yungedo midende sigiyores ya roj.
So when you look at advertisements in America, you'll often see people very happy, very upbeat, because we think that that sort of happiness is going to sell a product.
Ta chige deol ari deota oina kharilana ta sosogi soradi chala tyo dis khapra chida digop super din jona ta oina mi changma khariyore zumri ri gemusho de kyu shu yo na shi tungyores tinde tyo oina mi din jol khari shugin tirlana sama kyu yo chani chala din ya ga time di rewa chigiyores.
So in Japan, what they determined was that happiness is expressed more as contentment, as even-mindedness, not this super positive emotion.
Dilodda tanda Nihon ro Japan ro cha shawana tanda ki digila di khandil chayur lawana tangyom ro dewa che lolo yo tinde jila shagures shu che tho shu mewa tinde member jil chigures kila yo ding sam yo chen lolo yo tinde ro jila.
So this gets even more complicated when you start looking at different cultural beliefs about happiness. Scientists have found that some cultures believe that the expression of happiness is actually not a good thing.
Dila de rishung la loga yoro sam ta chidang loga lo chisu loga chadu gala rishung khashi khari chigir lawana ta thanda digi gi namjur tuen sto di yaga sigi yo mares.
And the reason they think that is that if a person expresses happiness, then something bad is going to happen.
Kaisna khunzo khashi khari chigir lawana kyu shu yo namjur ro tingu da dinde yedu gala ya jela ta dungi ji dig jela yungure lan dinde chisu yo res.
So just lots of different cultural expressions of happiness is what the researchers have discovered, which makes it just that much more complicated in actually studying happiness.
Diladu digi la digal nyamship che khago shu cha de restriction di chisu loga era diladu en khunzo nyamshi chudugal kangi mangbu thigi yo res.
So the next question is, can we actually increase our happiness? That's the question that researchers are studying now. Sorry, I'm hearing this. So again, what I'd like you to do is just in your table groups, talk about some ways that you think you can increase your happiness. What are some things that people do to increase happiness?
Diladu tanda nyamship chinge de jo koran zo khari to shimju chiyolana digi gi sedi ani toru tang tugur wes lai jora di thiwa dili yoras an kiran zo tanda ya ruga na chego cheis di tang tugur wes lai jora khari gyune an digi gi sedi toru tang tugur wes di thiwa di is.
Yeah, so take a couple minutes.
An kama khashi jolas di thodur chela. Pashe di lawa le yo. Labaina le yo shimba de zula. So if a person has a good heart and a good character, he can go and influence the society. He can tell the person, other people, or like if there are conflicts between people in the society, he can influence them and create a more harmonious society.
Okay, so that's increasing. Now, is that increasing the happiness of the person, or is that increasing the happiness of society?
The thanda kerangi she di digi gi che thor tanya di shigi ras di mit thanda roba chingi mi jora mi di koranga ji digi che thor dugure yana chizo chazanga ji chagi res gerla shira yo mare ger korala digas kheba dumari ne digi di ya gakero tan. Okay, I'm not talking about the like increasing happiness in that individual, but extending the happiness beyond oneself to the society.
Okay, all right. See, that's a really, really good distinction, because when researchers in the West ask this question, they're asking about the individual person.
Oh, the kerangi thanda digi ya thanda soso di geni ani chizo na ma pe di shigi ras kya kya di thanda di ko thanda cheri bai thiwa thya di mire ngore khorangi ta digi gi chejura di toro khande tang thugur lan di tang thugur west land So the person will, the individual's happiness will also increase because he is able to create like friendship between the two people.
Right. And what's interesting too is that even though in the West we ask about the individual's happiness, increasing it, what the researchers have found is that it is increasing the happiness of others that gives us the greatest happiness. So for instance, expressing gratitude or compassion or altruism, which is all, increasing another person's happiness gives that individual the greatest happiness.
Tanda nubchuba tseriba yora Quran suye di tsigi yores mi shengi tanda digi di ya kiran zugita ya tsetoru tao yana susu lagi shugintin susu digi di ya tsetoru duguya di Quran zungu lin chigi yores pesha wana tanda kajin tenshe roda ani thana shi chamze yora di che konda nyingje che ani thana shi altruism you said, right?
Altruism.
Champagne da denzu rigjuda digi tsangma ki gyuni ani susu gi digi di ya pegi yores tsetoru dugu yores.
So I'm curious, did anyone else have any other ways of increasing one's happiness?
Da tanda di member kiranzo shimba ni yoelas da susu rangi gi tanda digi di tsetoru tanya yorwes kandis tangtures. Tangtures.
아니 당보다 소소 가리라 있는 촉시와라 촉시 외직체라 아니 소소기 생각이 하신 거 제직체라 아니 신데 이제 제와지 원디도 유나 아니 소소기 문제스라 아니 신바기 위험에 대한 간디 스트레스 다운로드는 아니 신바딘도 나니 벤조기 로그램 제와다 아니 토나야 심도 도이는 심수 지야당라 아니 벤조기 도나야 강이 신바로 과기 도나니 강이 지야도 인데 세트업 조이는 신기 아니 디기데 세토로 부르스.
당보 수수가 지 칼렘베 기라니.
소소기 아니 촉시와라.
셴바디.
촉시 제와라. 아니 셈게 디스게 전부 제와라. 신신의 유지 제와.
So one can improve his or her happiness by like not being biased and shimba niyo di 칼렘베.
촉시와라. 아니 셈게 전부
So being broad-minded and sumbadi, yiche and trust.
And trust. Okay. All right. Again, relational.
And
It's
for
all
others, like if the other person is having some financial problems, we can solve them, and this can improve the other person's happiness.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful. Okay. Yes. So it's all of that interconnected, relational sort of thing.
Yes.
Yes. So the researchers have found yes, we can increase our happiness, but it is through ways that you both have mentioned.
Da tanda ngaran sui nyamship chedu gala tong thugu res la jora chedi nyamship khoran sui kharin nye la na tong thugu res la nye res and di khande tong thugu la na kheran zung la shem ba dige ro cha de res.
So there are a couple important points about happiness, though. For the researchers who are studying how we increase our happiness, there are two things that they have to take into consideration.
Da tanda digi gi che thor tong thugu re la jora di tong thugu re la du gal ne du ni ni khechimbu chi jo chi res khoran sui.
So the first is what's called a happiness set point, and that's this line right here, set level of happiness.
Da chik di digi che la du gal tanda che ki la thich ten do chik di shi sha gi res.
So what they found is that most people have a level of happiness that is consistent on a day-to-day basis, and that's what they call the happiness set point.
Di la du mi ji gi mi se na ta na thun jora di na la da digi gi che jora tembu ro shte jo den ro ji ni gi res. Dil ani thanda thik khatu thin jo set of happiness lash do di cha gi res.
So my happiness set point, if happiness was measured on a scale of 1 to 10, my set happiness point might be 6, yours might be 7, you might be 8, you could be 10. So it's different from person to person, but in general, your happiness set point doesn't change.
Dila du mi re re gi thanda digi gi che ji do di ta wa na sangma re ta wa na loga cha gi ras ini mi re ta du gala korang gi digi gi che shi jora thanda set level of happiness le di chi ground digi ras pe sha wa na kela korang ga ji cha di thanda nga ju chik ni chu ba du ta gyab la yo che shi ta di dinal ke si thu gi imbai na thu ground digi ras an kheran cha sha na du imbai na ge gu chu lan lo cha gi ras.
They've even found that when good things happen to a person, so for instance, if somebody wins the lottery and they get tons and tons of money, which they would be excited about in the West, their happiness might go up, but eventually, after a couple of months, it goes back to that set level of happiness.
Ta thanda cha shaw na nupcho ro na lottery do yora thanda pishatini thanda judi chiyo tyendi wi raidi di kesi thobai nasra ani kuran zo hobda me khaji ri kau shu chou ras dila du gal thanda tigri na ta na shu phargi do ya phargi res ine ya da khashis na khaji re rangja ni ni chejura chishidi diga rangja ma phapgi res.
They've also found that when bad things happen, like they've done a study with people who became paralyzed from the waist down, so their happiness, of course, went down, but after a few months, their happiness level went back to that set point.
Dila duya ken duja inde theni da khashe kangba da din subu chashi tu mesh da di yugu chima to paralyzed chawle ra dine do chawena ani kurangi digi gi cheju da ma chagi da tigri na ta wena ma chagi yores ine ya da khashe jel khaji re ya rangja yin digi gi cheshi kurang la khari yo di rangjal ma du yores.
So the question that researchers have is, can we actually change this set point of happiness? Can we raise it?
Ta thanda ngaran su de cheshi su do akila mi re re la di lo cha yora di ani gyo ta yores lan kuran su tiwa di ligi yores.
So then the next thing, important point about happiness is how much does doing something intentionally, an activity to increase our happiness, actually have a chance of increasing it? If I can explain that.
Ta chik kuran su khari simju chiyo la na ngaran su chik dende ro ji chiwa na ani chego dende ji chawa dende ji chiwa na ngaran su gi digi di che thoro tang tu re la jura di kor la simju chiyo res.
So here is the set point, the genetic set point. So this particular set point, this line right here, they have found is determined by genetics. Will they be familiar with genetics?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Ta thanda di thik khadu desh do di mi re la chik na yor la ra su su re re chik ji cha yores di che di khari da de cha yor la na thigri nal phai ta oina genetic lan thi da rigze da de cha di yores.
So, and the way that they know that this set point is genetics is they did studies with twins. They took identical twins and they took fraternal twins, and they found that the identical twins had the same set point, whereas the fraternal twins had different set points. So that's how they knew that your set point was genetic.
Ta thanda di rigze la pa be ni shi sha yor la jura rigze la ra lu yor la di khandes ta ji shir la na kuran chui chema do chema khashi chik ji kyang yung do khashi chema indu tis kheba do dinde nal ta ji shires chema chik ji kyang yung rig do dinde rig na la kuran chui ta du gala thanda cheshi do digi gi di cheshi di chema chik ba yung na la chik ji kyang yores ani manda ni dinala ni set point di thanda cheji do cheshi di lo cha do yores.
So then 10% of our happiness is determined by our life circumstances. So what our environment is, what job we do, what our family is like. So that's only 10% of our happiness.
Ta thanda digi nala kopshe gya she do khonju shibju di thanda susugi chawa khari khari chigyo me chasha din zul ra ligi resra an gya jang abju di ani rigzela ra lir la ra an gya chu di khari la na susu mi je na la da susu khoryo da lega khari chigyo me da di changma de chagyo res.
So then they also found then that 40% of our happiness is dependent on the activities that we actually do. So that means that there's a very, very good chance that we can actually increase that set point of happiness.
Dilo du gya shibju di khare susu rangi gi kangsu ni che do ra da chawa da chasha din di ra lu go ras dilo susu gyo ta ras di gyo ta waina di ani thana ngaju gi cheshi su sha ju jura di ya che thor dang thu re la na dang thu gi rewa yores.
So we have about 5 minutes before we break for lunch. This actually concludes our section on happiness itself. After this, what does this say? No, that was yesterday. Yeah. After this, we're going to be talking about what those intentional activities are that we can do to increase our happiness.
Dila du ta ngaju susu ngoi ne chawa da chasha din dinde chiwa ina ani ngaju gi thanda digi che di thoro tang thu res lan rewa jora ni susu ngoi ne samlo tang gu res khari khari china susu digi che di ya par thoro tang thu re la di to samlo tang lo chis.